If you're a young man, there's a very good chance that you feel lost, directionless, purposeless. If you're older, or if you look around at the older generations, I'm afraid it's not much better. They've achieved none of their goals, none of their dreams. Okay, maybe if they're lucky, they've got one. They got a family. But clearly, something's holding us back in this modern day. You know what it is? Vices, addictions, especially partying and substance use. Yes, that even includes you, motherfucker, the one that's just going out in the weekend. That's just a little drink in the weekend. Or maybe it's just on special occasions. It's holding you back. See, these vices have a plethora of downsides that we can't see. One of the biggest ones is it confuses us. It makes us think we want things that we don't really want. It changes our brain. I seen this myself. When I got into using drugs, I started doing things that I never thought I would do. I stole from my mum. I stole from my fucking mum. I stole drugs from her. I stole money from her to get drugs. Now sure, not everyone's like this, but it does change you in so many subtle ways. Even back then, you know what my dream, you know what my ambition was? And I was 100% sure on this. I thought, yes, this is my path. I thought my path was to be a drug dealer. That's what I wanted out of life. I thought, yeah, this is what God wants me to do. The drugs, the drinking, all of that, it blinded me. And sure, you might not be going through the exact same thing as me. But I'm telling you, even in subtle ways, it's changing you. It's confusing you. This is why you feel lost. It's stealing your energy. It's stealing your focus. See, you're too busy thinking about what you're going to do this weekend. You're too busy getting hyped up, excited for that fucking night out you're going to have, that festival you're going to, maybe in a few months. All you're thinking about is the next way you're going to escape, going to run. This is stealing your energy and stealing your focus, because to achieve anything, first you need to have it in your mind. And of course, where focus goes, energy flows. You're just putting it, all your energy, into this escapism, these vices, this drinking, this drug use. So what the fuck do you think you get more of? What the fuck do you think you're attracting into your life? And one of the biggest ones, one of the most hidden ones, and people complain about this a lot, is motivation. Yes, it's stealing your motivation. First of all, on a scientific level, it's zapping your dopamine. And see, dopamine, people think dopamine is the reward molecule. We do something good, we get dopamine, but no, that's not how dopamine works. Dopamine is the motivation molecule. It is what we're supposed to do to get us to go out and hunt. And when you're using it on drugs and drink, no wonder you've no motivation left. No wonder your motivation is zapped. And then add on top of that all the scrolling, all the porn you're watching. Of course you've got no motivation. Of course it's all zapped. You're stealing it away for some instant gratification. But on a spiritual level, do you know what motivation really is? See, a lot of people like to think about motivation like it's this, like, yeah, oh, I'm hyped. Let's get up and go. Let's fucking go. You're hyped. You're excited. You're ready. You're motivated. But see, 99% of the time, that is not what motivation feels like. Yeah, you get their days like that. You do. But you know what true motivation is? It's pain. It's that knocking in the fucking chest telling you you're worth more. It's that suffering that drives you forward. Look at anyone who's achieved anything. They suffered through something. I started going to the gym because I didn't feel good enough. I quit drugs. I got sober because it was causing me so much pain, and I knew I was worth more. I knew I deserved a better life. I knew that if I kept going down that road, I was going to get nowhere. I was just going to be a loser. This is why I'm creating a course to try and teach people things I learned, the mistakes I made. Check out the link in the description if you're interested. So when you're constantly escaping, you haven't got that pain. That's what it's all about. People call escapism fun nowadays. They run from pain. and they call it fun. They'll tell you live a little, and they'll run from the real world. But see, that pain is a gift. That's God trying to help you get your goals. See, what you want, your dreams, your desires, all of that will never, ever come packaged how you want it. When you pray to God, it will never be a straight line from A to B. No, He'll give you the trials, the tribulations that you need to go through, that you need to overcome to get what you want. You don't want all your shit just handed to you. Look at all the people who win the lottery. They end up losing it all. Some of them lose their lives. Because we need pain to grow. Growth is pain overcome. It's so obvious. If you look at all the great things that happened to you in life, it came from pain. So when you're escaping, when you're running through that fucking bottle, through that bag, through that joint, you're missing out on so much growth. It's so obvious when you look around you. As I said, older people, they've achieved none of their goals. This is not a mistake. Yes, it's easier now through the internet, but everyone has got goals and everyone can achieve those goals. A lot of people tell you, well, I don't really know what I want. Everyone has big dreams, even if it's something non-specific, like I just want to make a lot of money, I want to live in a hot country. Everyone's got goals. Everyone had goals throughout their life, but most of them didn't do it because they were constantly distracted, constantly running from the things that they needed to grow, the things they needed to get what they want. And then they complain. They escape. They choose the easier path. And then they complain. You need to choose the road less traveled. If you're going to get anywhere, you need to drop this fucking vice because it is holding you back. If you want to be average, what do you need to do? You need to have average habits. And the most average habit, especially in the West, is this partying lifestyle. For some, like myself, it got worse and worse to the point of a full-on addiction. I was doing stuff nearly every day. I was doing fucking stuff like beauty and lighter gas to try and get high. That's how desperate I was, and it can happen to anyone. I know you're maybe thinking that might not happen to you, and you don't need to listen to this video. Do you think I ever thought I was going to do that? I started off saying I'd only drink, and then it was only drink and smoke. Then I started doing one of the hard drugs, ecstasy. I said, oh, I'd never do a party drug like ecstasy. I ended up doing it. With time, I had other boundaries. I said I wouldn't do coke. It's too much like crack. It's a bad drug. Never do it. I ended up doing coke. And I was like, oh no, just Xanax, heroin, meth. I wouldn't do those things. And then ended up doing Xanax. But luckily, I got off it in time. There's no doubt in my mind that if this kept going on and on, I would have broke my word again. I would have done heroin and shit. Nobody ever thinks they're going to end up a drug addict. Nobody. It's just when you're doing these bad habits, it puts you on this path. Because what you do defines you. Your actions, your daily steps takes you every day to a certain path. Hell and heaven are not somewhere you go after you die. They're here on earth. Which path are you walking? Too many people, they just settle. They complain that they're not getting their goals, so they run to the drink to try and escape that pain, and then they don't want it enough. That dulls the fire, that drive inside of them. As I said, it dulls the motivation, and then eventually they settle. And of course, they see everyone else doing it. They normalize it, and therefore they settle. That's why it was a lot harder for our parents. A lot harder. But now with the internet, we can teach people to wise up. We can help people wake up. That's how I woke up. I used to watch this guy, Wes Watson, for ages and ages. Even though I was doing drugs at the time, and he was telling me, get sober, you fucking bitch. Drinking's for bitches, which it is. It's escapism at the end of the day. You can't handle your problems, so you run from it. And it was funny, I was still listening to him while I was doing drugs, but eventually, I seen the light, it woke me up. That's just the joy, the benefit, the great thing about the internet. It's not about the pleasure, the fun. It's about learning, it's about growing. It's about getting around people virtually that if it wasn't for the internet, you would struggle to be around because most people are average. But the great thing about the internet, it connects other like-minded, above average individuals like you are. If you've watched this video, you know that you're not one of them normies, because most normal people, most weak ass motherfuckers would have clicked off this video. Their ego would have hurt. They probably dislike the video, comment something negative. How can you be negative to someone saying, helping people to get sober? How can that in any way be a bad thing? Yet people will take it and it'll hurt them and they'll comment negative shit. Why? Because they've got this big ego attached. Their ego has become attached to these bad habits because they've just done them that often. And they need to attack me. Because I'll call someone out and I'll cause them pain, I'll cause them suffering. And they think that feeling inside them is due to me. They think, oh, that means I'm a bad person. But really, that pain inside them is their wake-up call. That pain inside them is their true self telling them, yeah, he's right, we need to change. But there's two types of people in the world. People who'll listen to that call, who'll feel that pang inside them when someone makes them feel uncomfortable and say, right, I gotta get to work, I gotta get better. And then there's that other person. He'll take that as an insult, take that as an attack, and they'll be negative. Just haters and winners, that's all it is. Which one are you? It's time to just clear the lens. It's the only way forward. It's the only way your goals are truly going to start coming to you. As I said, I wanted to be a drug dealer. I thought it was so clear. As I got sober, as it developed, I realized what I want to do is content creation. I want to help people change their lives and make money at the same time. There's no better way. Why would you get paid for anything else? Fix your problems and help others to do the same. It's so fucking obvious. What you need to do is start implementing good habits. This is the only way to be able to drop it fully. I've seen lots of people try to quit drugs, they failed. Or maybe they did a half measure, maybe they still drink. Or maybe they still drink and smoke weed. I'm the only one that I know of that dropped all of it completely. Why? Because I had the solid foundation, the good habits that set me up. Things like meditation and breath work. To clear the mind, to truly clear the lens of life, help you see how life really works. Exercise, which builds self-esteem, confidence, and discipline. The discipline to say no, to say fuck that when you're challenged. And you need to read. You need some good escapism in your life because you're suffering right now because your life's so dull. So read things that you enjoy. It could be non-fiction, fiction. Just read what the fuck you enjoy. There's a book out there for you, billions of books. Just try. Just look for one that you enjoy, and you need to properly socialize. Not fucking killing yourself with other people. That is not socializing. That is antisocial. Go out sober. Go hike. Go work out. Go swim. Do whatever the fuck. Go for coffee. Do truly social activities like a fucking normal person. Now look, this is going to take time. It's not going to be instant. It's not like you're going to get sober and you know exactly what you want to do. It took me ages. I went through a period of feeling lost and down, even though I got sober, but I knew there was no way back because there is only one way to get your goals, and that's to remove all distractions, all things holding you back. See, everyone always asks, what do I got to do to be successful? It's what do you have to remove? That is the true answer. That's what I help people understand and do in my course. I haven't fully finished this course. It's a pre-sale. But because of that, I'm selling it cheaper. I'm selling it half the price. So if you join now, you lock in the price and you won't have to pay any extra. I've got all the lessons, all the great things I learned and more inside of this course. You know, you don't have to do it. I didn't have any course to get sober. Getting sober is relatively easy as long as you have the few simple steps, the few good habits. It will take time. It will be painful. I said easy. Maybe simple is the better word. It's relatively simple. It's not easy. It took me months to get fully sober. And even then, it took me months after that to fully understand, fully to comprehend what I had done and the real benefits of it. Because I needed to change my mindset as well. Because so many people that get sober and they go back on it because they don't have the foundation. Just like they do in like rehab and all that shit. They make it seem like you have this horrible disease forever. It's not a disease. It's a state of mind. You just need to work on it and change it. Either by yourself or with the help of somebody else who has done it. Remember, you're better than that bag. You're better than that ball. Wise up.